What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to MemeGC. That's right, we're back with another week of a singles player trying to play VGC and trying to do somewhat well with weird teams. But you know what? I've got a cool team for you this week. Now, last week we got a comment on our video, and I wanted to go ahead and show you that. It is, wow, Gmax Pokemon are epic to watch in competitive battling, and you know what I thought about that? I thought, what better thing to do then than an all Gmax team? So all of these Pokemon right here are able to Gigantamax, and so there's actually a little bit of synergy here, and so I actually made this team shareable for you guys to look at. So this is a pretty interesting team. So we have Gmax Lapras with Light Clay, and so that is there obviously to set up the Aurora Veil if it goes for its Ice type move, which is pretty cool. And you see that we have Perish Song. So this is there with two other partners. We have Gmax Gengar with its Gmax Terror, I think is what it's called, and it sets it traps the opponent in, which is pretty cool. So you've got Perish Song, you've got Trapping, you see where this is going, and then you see that Cinescorch down there. That Centiferno also traps people. There you go. So we've got that option. We've got an Assault Vest Caparaja, which is pretty cool. That thing puts in a lot of work and hits like a truck. We've got a Belly Drum Snorlax, which is pretty cool. That also is capable of Dynamaxing. And the Gengar also has Trick Room, so a lot of these mons are pretty slow. So we can either run a fast mode, so the Butterfree could be our Gigantamax and go for the max Airstream and helps to speed up our team. Or we can Trick Room with the Gengar and slow back down our team in order to make ourselves faster. So there's quite a bit of speed control here. You can see the Butterfree is Choice Scarfed, so that way we can get off a fast Sleep Powder, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that's basically the team. I think there's some pretty cool synergy with all of these mods. I usually don't Gmax Snorlax unless I can get a Trick Room off. Same thing with Caparaja. Caparaja I typically don't Gmax, but it can. So yeah, I did not build this team alone. I did not get all of these Gmax Pokemon alone. I am borrowing some of them, so thank you to those of you who are helping me out, letting me borrow some Gmax Pokemon, and it's in exchange for some bottle capped Gmax mons. So there you go. That's the trade-off here. So let's go ahead and jump into battle number 1, and I will see you there. All right, so we have found an opponent for match number 1, and let's see what we have here. So, okay, very interesting team, very different team. So the Noivern actually could be quite a problem just because it is fast and it goes for Airstream and it can speed the team up. And then that in combination with like a fast Sylveon seems kind of tough. Scrafty also looks really good against my team. My goodness. Yeah, Scrafty looks really strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and predict Scrafty to come. So what do I want to do about this team? I feel like I want to go with a fast mode, and I think I want to lead with Butterfree. I think I have to bring Lapras. Lapras is just way too good for me to leave it. Do I want to lead with it is the question, because Rotom is a thing. I think I need Snorlax. I like Snorlax here. I'm gonna lead Butterfree Lapras, actually, I think is what I want to do. And then in the back, I don't think I'm gonna go for the Perish Trap shenanigans on this one. Bring Snorlax in the back. And who else? Caparaja could be good. I'm gonna bring Caparaja. Yeah, let's lock that in. This is a very different team, but I really like it. I really like my opponent's team. Definitely a lot of things that you don't see every day, but Scrafty seems like it could be a problem. Scrafty's tough because it's another Moxie Intimidate mon, kind of like Gyarados, but it's Dark Fighting, which is a very good offensive typing. So I definitely see that coming. So Seismitoad Sylveon. I don't think I hate this lead, actually. This is not a terrible lead at all. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go for the Sleep Powder, or do I want to like start max Airstreaming? I think I'm going to go for Sleep Powder strats first into the Sylveon. and freeze dry into the Seismitoad, I think is a pretty safe bet. I could see Seismitoad protecting here and Sylveon switching. Okay, so I did call Seismitoad protect. Not that Lapras can really... Oh, so we see double protect. My opponent's just scouting to see what's going on. Possibly waste a Dynamax turn, so it's good that we didn't Gmax. So yeah, we go ahead and hit both of those protects, which is totally fine. So what is your... I mean, something's going to sleep here, right? I think something basically has to go to sleep here. And it might as well be Sylveon. Because honestly, because we can deal with the Seismitoad pretty well. Or do we catch... He probably switches out Seismitoad now, right? I'm actually going to go for it on the Seismitoad slot. And what do I want to do here now? Because I'm predicting a switch there. And I'm actually going to Gmax Resonance into the Sylveon. I'm going to switch it up just because I think we're going to see a swap. We don't see a swap. Man, I mean, that would have been very easy for me to just OHKO that thing right there. But I mean, we're going to put it to sleep, and the Sylveon really can't do too terribly much. It might have Mystical Fire, which could be a problem. But I mean, it's not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and put the Seismitoad to sleep, which is good. So that'll help us with like our Gmax. Now that we Gmaxed, it's okay. Yeah, because it is faster. And so we're just going to see a Moonblast here into the Butterfree. Okay. We're not Sash, so that does do a lot. And we're going to go ahead and get off our Aurora Veil, which is pretty cool. It's not going to do too much. Yeah. Sylveon's pretty specially bulky. And we cannot go for a water type move just yet, so we do have to keep going for the ice type moves. So I'm going to go for that again. I'm going to double into the Sylveon slot. He can protect if he wants to, but I mean, it's still going to take damage. The Seismitoad has taken one turn of sleep, so that is going to go into a protect, which is fine. I would really like for you to stay asleep. Thank you. And we're going to get a little bit of damage off on this Sylveon, which is very nice. So this isn't terrible. I'm definitely glad that I did not... That did nothing. I'm definitely glad that we did not Dynamax turn 1. Because that way we get a little bit more mileage out of this. And now I'm going to go into the Seismitoad just to get it a little bit lower. So now we're going to put the Sylveon to sleep, which is pretty cool. And then I think next turn we might switch out a Butterfree depending on if Seismitoad wakes up or not. It did not. Okay, perfect. So now we really threaten the Seismitoad with... Now that we've hit it with a Gmax Resonance, we're definitely going to OHKO it with Freeze Dry. Oh yeah, that's Freeze Dry range. So we're in a really good spot with Lapras. And I'm going to switch out a Butterfree because I don't think we need that in right now. It's done its job of putting everything to sleep, and it might be able to do some work later. And Copperajah seems pretty... Well, I think I'm going to go Snorlax, actually. And then we're going to Freeze Dry into the Seismitoad because it's a little bit faster. And we're just going to see what we can do about this. And that way we save this for later. You know, we've got more sleep powders in the back, that sort of thing. Seismitoad does wake up and goes for Protect. I'm not sure what you gain from that. I guess just trying to make sure Sylveon wakes up too. So yeah, through Veil, that's not going to do much. And so that's a pretty decent switch for us. So I don't see the problem with going for Belly Drum right here and then Freeze Drying into Seismitoad. Because once we get this off, I mean, it'll depend on what he has in the back. Ooh, he carries the Power Whip. Will we be able to survive? Very easily. Let's go. This Lapras is pretty bulky. We're pretty invested. As he doubles into the Lapras, I almost clicked Protect, but then I didn't. Which seems very dangerous on my opponent's part to leave the Snorlax alone. He must have something in the back that can deal with it, because that is a very free Belly Drum for us. So Yeah, now we're going to eat our berry and go ahead and get a lot of that health back. So my opponent's in a tough spot now because we're behind Aurora Veil. I've got really bulky mons on the field, and there's the Scrafty. Yeah, this Scrafty is dangerous, and it's not Intimidate. I'm going to go for a Body Slam on the Scrafty. It's way more of a threat right now. And I'm going to... What do I want to do here? I don't think I need to protect with Lapras right now. I'm going to Hydro Pump into the Sylveon, as we do see the Dynamax here. Okay. Yeah, this Scrafty's going to be a problem, and it could be the... I see our lose condition is this Scrafty, for sure. Now, Caparajah is very bulky and does carry the Play Rough. So if this knocks something out, that is what we go into and we click Play Rough. And it probably doesn't kill us through Veil. So we do see the Max Knuckle probably onto Snorlax. Yes, and we're going to survive. So we're going to get a big hit off here. Because Hyper Voice isn't going to knock either of us out. And this Aurora Veil coming in clutch right now. Okay, so we do see the Moonblast onto the Lapras, trying to lower our special attack, which is a fair play. And there, he does get it. Okay. So we're going to go for the Hydro Pump here. It's not going to do too much. Yeah, that does 0, actually. And we're going to get a big Body Slam off on this Scrafty. Let's go. As we do get the Paralysis, that is amazing, actually. So now, what do we do here? That Paralysis on the Scrafty is huge. So now we're going to attack into the Sylveon and Freeze Dry into the Scrafty. And this should be better. So now the Sylveon's fastest thing. It's not going to knock either of us out. Dang, it knocked out Lapras, crit us. Yeah, that crit mattered. That crit actually did matter. Yeah, that crit mattered a lot. Because we knocked out the... We were going to be faster than Scrafty, and we would have knocked it out right there. That crit might have just... Yeah, that crit just won him the game. Of course it did. That's unfortunate. I knew Scrafty would be our lose condition. I really didn't think it would be like that, though. Because we can't put the Scrafty to sleep, and Caparajah is slower, so Caparajah is going to have to take a huge hit here. We can put the Sylveon to sleep. We can put the Sylveon to sleep. And then try to knock out the Scrafty. So we're going to click Play Rough on the Scrafty and just hope we don't miss. I think that's our only play here, just to try to avoid some damage here. Just to make that a non-threat here. There's the fastest sleep. Scrafty's probably faster than our Caparajah. No, it's not. I didn't think Paralysis would make him that slow, because this Caparajah is pretty close to min speed, I think. Scrafty's pretty slow, but I didn't think it was that slow. He may just not have any investment, as now our Aurora Veil wears off, so now things get dicey. We're down to our last 2 each. But I think we're in a decent position because we did lock ourselves into Sleep Powder. So whatever he switches in, which is Rotom. Rotom is a good pick for my opponent, and if it's Scarfed, we could be in trouble, but we're gonna go for that on... And I think we're gonna leave the what's it called? We're gonna leave the Sylveon alone. And go for... I mean, everything we have is not very effective on this Rotom. So, what do we want to do here? I think we just go for a Heavy Slam, try to get some damage off. So if we can knock that out, I think we win. We are Salt Vest, but yeah, if this Rotom is Scarfed, we're in trouble. Okay, we're faster, that's good. But now Butterfree does literally nothing except just put things to sleep again as soon as they wake up, which is not helpful. Yeah, there's the Hyper Voice, and that's probably going to knock us out. It does. And so it's just a matter of if we can knock this Rotom out in a somewhat fast amount of time, which does not seem to be the case. That looks to be about a 5-hit KO. Yeah, that's not great. That is not great damage. And Rotom woke up first turn anyway, so yeah, oh, he missed. Wait, he missed. Yeah, because I mean, our win condition here is Rotom just like missing a ton of overheats. Because it's, I mean, that's a 5-hit KO. It's not going to happen. That is unfortunate. But, I mean, my opponent wasn't going to stay asleep forever. So, yeah. But that Scrafty crit, that crit didn't matter. But that Scrafty crit on Lapras, or whatever that crit was, that mattered. That mattered a lot, because then we would have knocked out Scrafty and not taken the hit on Snorlax. And we could have won that without that crit. So, it's unfortunate. That was still a close game, though. So I'm not gonna be too upset about it. The team performed pretty well, I have to say. Butterfree is super annoying. It is super, super annoying. As we're gonna drop back down to rank 5, which is unfortunate, but oh well. But yeah, anyway, if you're liking the video so far of G-Max team, of a full G-Max team, make sure to leave a like on the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and make sure to leave a comment letting me know what your favorite Gigantamax Pokemon is. I would love to know what yours is. I was really wanting to use Colossal this time around, since we used him last week and he did really well, but I couldn't figure out a good setup for it, so I just ended up not going with it. We could have, I guess we could have done it with the Trick Room mode, and just let our opponent do damage to us with the water move, but I'm not really a fan of that. And that really like forces which G-Max we're gonna go for. I like to be able to switch it up from time to time with this team, so we'll just have to see, as it is taking a really long time to find opponents today. So I'll see you in just a second once we get another opponent. All right, we are back with match number 2, and let's see what my opponent has today. So Machamp looks interesting, for sure. Machamp plus Togekiss and Whimsicott seems dangerous. It just seems like a lot of really dangerous mons. Gastro could be good because it absorbs our grass or our water type moves on Lapras. But his team isn't really weak to water anyway, so that's not really something we're going to be going for. G-Max Lapras seems decent, I guess. Capparaja seems good. I like Capparaja here, like, a lot. That's probably going to be our G-Max, honestly. I kind of like Gengar here, too. I kind of want to lead with that and go for the Trick Room strats. So lead Capparaja and Gengar, and G-Max the Capparaja, and then go for Trick Room with Gengar. Because we're probably going to see a Tailwind, and then possibly the Machamp going for a Gigantamax or something like that, maybe. So in the back, what do we want? Do we want Butterfree? For probably not. Let's bring Lapras, Snorlax. Yeah. Cinescorch was okay here. It wasn't great though. I feel like a lot of my mons weren't great here. I like my lead, but then again, I may not like my lead here in just a second. We're just gonna have to find out. But yeah, I think the Trick Room strat is probably gonna be our best bet here. Yeah, I was expecting Machamp Whimsicott, so that does match what I was thinking. So this is a pretty good lead for us, I have to say. So I'm expecting Tailwind max fighting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna Trick Room here. And we're going to go for a max Starfall onto the Machamp. Yeah, because we can't protect the Capparaja anyway. So that's not going to make that big of a difference as far as like stalling out a turn or anything. So I want to go ahead and G-Max just so that I take as little damage as possible, because this Machamp is getting ready to hurt me really bad. As we don't see the G-Max. Okay. So what is this Machamp wanting to go for? Just goes for a knockoff. Okay. We are Sash, so that is going to save us. And we are going to get rid of the knockoff, which is pretty cool. So we're going to keep our Assault Vest And we're going to get the Max Starfall into the Machamp and go ahead and just knock that straight out. So that is perfect. And so now, since the Tailwind is up, our Gengar, even though our Gengar's max speed, we should be slower than the Whimsicott, I would say. So we can go ahead and hit that up next turn with a Sludge Wave. And we are going to get the Trick Room off. So very unusual team, I would say, but I really like when this mode works out, because I think the Trick Room mode actually works out really nicely. It works for the Snorlax, it works for a lot of things, as Gyarados is the next Mon to come in. So he is going to get an Intimidate off, which is not the best, but it's not the worst. So we're going to go ahead and go for a Sludge Wave here. Obviously it doesn't work on our own Copperajah. And I kind of want to go for a Max Flare here, well, just to lessen the damage from the incoming water move. But he could go for a ground type move, which could be not great. Stone Surge is not very effective. Flare is obviously not very effective right there. I guess Starfall is probably our best neutral play here. We could also go for Overgrowth just for some healing. Which one's higher base power? Overgrowth? I'm gonna go for Overgrowth onto the Gyarados. Okay, so we don't see the Dynamax on the Gyarados either. So that's interesting. As we are gonna do almost half, which is pretty good. And we are gonna go ahead and get off the terrain here, which is really nice. Gengar should go next, right? Yes, it does. Doesn't affect Copperajah, which is perfect. And we're gonna do a huge... Whimsicott is not Sash. And we poison the Gyarados. That poison... Oh, he's Lum. Oh, that poison would have mattered. That poison could have mattered. Because I think he would have fainted to it. As he Dragon Dances. You do realize that Trick Room is up, right? And you die to the next Sludge Wave? I do not agree with that play at all. That should have been an Earthquake or something like that. Togekiss. Okay. So yeah, I Steel Spike into the Togekiss and Sludge Wave. And I don't see what my opponent does about that, because his Tailwind is still up, so we are going to be faster. This was a pretty... I don't see the downside to this, as my opponent just didn't bother Dynamaxing at all. Yeah, Togekiss just drops. And that's at -1, mind you. Togekiss did not live it. So we are going to set up the Steel-type Stealth Rocks, but it doesn't matter, because there's nothing else to switch in. And we go for Sludge Wave again, and that should knock out the Gyarados. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, that was pretty clean. That was about as clean as that match could have gone. So... yeah, we didn't even have to switch out of our leads at all. That lead right there is very dangerous, and typically people don't know what to expect out of that lead, so it's really cool when it works. I'm really glad we got to show that part of it off, and hopefully we'll be able to get one more here. So I'd like to go ahead and do 3 battles since that one was so quick. So we're just gonna see if we can get another opponent here. I'll see you in just a second. All right, it looks like we found ourselves a match number 3, and let's see what my opponent has here. This team looks scary. So I think I've seen this team before, and it's a Shell Smash Blastoise team. So I think basically the gist is turn 1, it leads Raichu and Raichu and Blastoise, and then it fakes out and goes for a Shell Smash, and then Dynamaxes and goes to town, and then is very bulky because of Clefairy. So what is our lead to oppose that? Honestly, I feel like our lead is the same thing we did last time, because if we Dynamax our Copperajah, then it can't be flinched, and we could go for the max Overgrowth onto the Blastoise. And again, Copperajah looks really nice in this game. Everything except the Arcanine, it does really well against, actually. My goodness, Copperajah looks fantastic in this game. So what else do we bring is the question. I kind of like Lapras here. I like Lapras for everything except for the Raichu, which is pretty cool. And then in the back, what else do we want to bring? Do we want to bring the sleep powder in the back? I think I'm going to bring Snorlax. Yeah, let's bring Snorlax. I think this is what I wanted. Then again, I always say that until like after the battle started, and then it's not, but oh well, we'll see what we can do here. But I think Caparajah looks really nice in this match, and I'm really hoping to see Blastoise Raichu. That's my hope to what I want to see here. Blastoise Clefairy. Okay, so probably follow me. Shell Smash is what I'm expecting here. So I think we do the same strat here. I think we go for Trick Room because I'm expecting him to go for a Shell Smash. And then we're gonna Dynamax and Steel Surge. We're gonna go ahead and just Steel Surge into the Clefairy. Or do we want to go for the Overgrowth? I think that it's gonna be a redirection here. And I think we just go ahead and knock out the Clefairy in general and just be done with the Clefairy. Because Friend Guard is a thing, and Friend Guard is very strong, actually. And this thing setting up a Shell Smash and then having that Friend Guard boosting its defenses is not something I want to deal with. So I want to go ahead and hit that Clefairy up with a Steel Surge or whatever the move is called. We do see the Follow Me, just like I thought. And then I'm expecting a Shell Smash. Water Spout. That is not great. But we are going to go ahead and hit up this Clefairy here. And we're going to go ahead and reverse the speeds. So that just means that our Caparajah is going to go first next time, which is pretty good. Gengar is probably dead here, but I don't think that it's a problem. I don't think it's that bad. I'm not really sure what else it's gonna do this match. I might end up clicking Protect. Arcanine. I probably don't need Gengar anymore. I probably can just let this go down. The Intimidate is bad. The Intimidate's pretty bad. I think I'm gonna click Protect here. And we're gonna click Overgrowth into the Blastoise. We could see a max on the Arcanine, which could be interesting and scary. But with Trick Room up, we're in a not awful position here. Because, I mean, if the Arcanine were to max here, it would go for Caparajah. But we're just gonna have to see what my opponent wants to do. I do want to get rid of this Blastoise, though. Alright, so we are going to see the max Luxury Ball. I'm not sure which one that's going to be. Do we see Arcanine or Blastoise? We see Arcanine. And that's what I figured. I mean, it's a huge threat to our Caparajah. If it's physical, we're going to take it decent. And we are Assault Vest, so the special side is going to be not too bad. We're going to protect with our Gengar, and that's going to cover the Water Spout. And there's the Overgrowth onto the Blastoise. And it's not gonna quite knock it out, which is not the best. But we do a good amount of damage to it, though, which is very nice. Goes for the Water Spout, is going to hit the Protect of the Gengar. Hits up Caparajah for very little damage. And there's the Max Flare. As that just goes ahead and knocks us straight out, which is not what I wanted. And yeah, that sounds about right. It's 2 battles in this one game that are probably being decided by crits. Not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. So, okay. What do we do now? Is the question. What do we do now? We could go Snorlax. I don't hate that. I mean, we're pretty unsafe, though, I would have to say. I think Lapras is a better bet here. just because we do have freeze dry for the Blastoise. So I'm gonna go ahead and Shadow Ball into the Blastoise on the off chance that we were to live for some reason. Because I mean, if he goes for Water Spout, it's not gonna affect Lapras. And I'm gonna go ahead and Hydro Pump into the Arcanine slot. The sun is up, which is unfortunate. But we'll just have to see what we can do here. Lapras is not a bad mon to have. But the Arcanine having already set Sun makes it a little bit difficult. Yeah, and there's the withdrawal on Blastoise. So whatever comes in is going to take a Shadow Ball, which is the Raichu. Alright. We are going to go ahead and get the Hydro Pump off. It's going to do like a quarter, which isn't great damage. And there's the Max Knuckle onto the Lapras. We can live that, which is good. And we do see the raise of both of their attacks. And we're going to get a Shadow Ball off onto the Raichu. Don't know how much this is going to do. About almost half. So I think we have to protect Lapras on this turn. As painfully obvious as it is, I think we just have to. So I think I click Shadow Ball again. I think I click it on the Arcanine, actually. And then protect with Lapras. Yeah, I think that's what I have to do here. We could also double protect just to stall out our own Trick Room. But I don't want to take a fake out Max Knuckle onto the Lapras. Yep, fake out. And we have Max Knuckle. Max Flare onto Gengar. Yep. Yeah, I mean, all we really negated there was the fake out damage, but I mean any damage is damage, right? So yeah, I'm not sure how we break through this, but we're gonna go ahead and go into Snorlax here, as that should have been the last turn of Dynamax from the Arcanine, as it was. So that's good. Now, how many turns of Trick Room do we have left? Or are we already out of it? We have one more turn. Okay, we do have high horsepower on this. And we are going to be really slow. So I think we knock out the Raichu here. And I'm going to go for Hydro into it as well. But I'm hoping that Snorlax actually, if it protects, we're in trouble. I'm going to go ahead and attack into the Arcanine here in case it protects. Okay, it doesn't protect. It must not have had it, because I would have definitely protected with that if he had it. So probably just didn't have it, which is fair. I mean, Raichu runs into 4 move slot syndrome a lot, as this should do about half, which is good damage. Oh, it's a berry too. Yeah, this is a tough one for sure. As we do see the CC into the Lapras, and it's gonna knock Lapras out. So yeah, now Trick Room does end. And I think Arcanine just kind of wins here, because now we lose our Trick Room. So my opponent just sends in his last Mon, or just sends in the Blastoise again, yeah. So we are going to go ahead and try to knock out this Arcanine. The Water Spout is not going to do any damage from Blastoise. Just in the sun, he's at a quarter health. So it's definitely less of a threat than Arcanine. Plus Arcanine has close combat. But I think close combat plus whatever Blastoise wants to go for, probably Aura Sphere, is rough. As we do see a Protect from Arcanine. Yeah, that's a smart play. I don't think it was really necessary. Oh, well, that does like 0 damage. Yeah, I mean, we could have called that Protect. That Protect was pretty... Yeah, the Protect does stall the sun out. So now the water type move does a little bit more. And the grassy terrain we set is only strengthening the Water Spout. which is decent. But I mean, if Flash Cannon is the best thing that Blastoise can hit us with, our best play is still to hit the Arcanine. Just, I mean, hands down it is. I don't think we take a close combat though. I mean, he's at plus, what, 2? We don't take a close combat from this. And we're much slower. So I'm not sure what he's scared of. Goes for extreme speed. Why would you not close combat? As there's the Shell Smash. So that's dangerous too. But why would you not CC there? Did my opponent choke? Or do I still lose? I probably still lose. But, I mean, I'm knocking out the Arcanine here. Because that thing is a huge threat. I did not expect to win that. I really thought my opponent was going to click close combat there. And it's just a 1v1 here now, right? I'm clicking Body Slam. As we see Flash Cannon, I don't think that's going to knock us out. It's not. He's going to activate our Berry. We luckily don't see a special defense drop, which is huge. I think my opponent just choked, like, really bad because I did not... Yeah, I should not have won that. I definitely should not have won that match. But you know what? We take those. We take those. Yeah, if I were my opponent, I would have just clicked close combat all day. And that should have... Close combat plus Blastoise would have knocked me out for sure. But we take it. So we're going to take the 2 wins. And we're gonna run, and it's gonna be great. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of MemeGC. I hope you guys enjoyed our all Gigantamax team. If you guys would like to see more of this team, so more Gigantamaxing, different Gigantamax Pokemon, that sort of thing, make sure to let me know down in the comments below, and of course, let me know your favorite Gigantamax Pokemon as well. So until next week, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.